Okay, guys, good morning. We are recording. This is the title training for lead and star consultants, which is so awesome because that means you guys are growing your business. It means that you have at least one person on your team. And to get to lead, you need at least bare minimum every month. To hit the promotion and to get paid at title every single month, you need at least 500 PRV, which is personal retail volume, which is your personal sales. You need 1,000 GWV, which is group wholesale volume, which is 75% of your sales and anybody else's sales that are on your team. Okay. So it's not your full PRV and your teamies, all your teamies full PRV. It's 75% of each person's PRV. Okay. And you need one active frontline. So that means somebody that has been personally sponsored by you directly. They're active, which means at least $200 in sales that month. And so that is something that you need to hit that promotion. For star, you need at least $500 in sales for that month. You need at least 2,500 GWV. Um, so that is again 75% of you and everybody on your team of their sales. And you need two active frontline. Again, two people that have personally been sponsored by you and they're active for that month. Now you hit that promotion, which is great, but you want to be in the place ideally to continually hit that promotion over and over, which is you'll see me say paid at title, which the abbreviation is PAT. Okay. So paid at title, you guys really, I recommend if you haven't, to always have your compensation plan handy. It is so important to know where you are, where you're going, and even the compensation plan is hard to understand. I'm not even going to lie. I still get confused on it sometimes. I am not a numbers person at all. There's things I am and there's things I'm not, and I am not a numbers person. Um, but always have your compensation plan handy so you know what your percentage is that you're getting paid on, what your team, what the next promotion is, what you need, what you're working toward. You really, because you know what? We're not volunteers. I mean, the big picture of it all that I feel like will help grow your business at the end of the day is you have to have the mindset of you're here to help other people. Yes, your business comes first, but you know what? If you want to grow your team and recruit and sponsor and continually help build leaders in your downline, in your frontline, then you really need to have the mindset of you're here to help people reach their goals. And it's really important to have that compensation plan handy. Okay. So you don't want to just hit that promotion one time. You need to be able to hit it over and over and over again. Okay. Every single month to get paid at your title. Okay. So there's a few with these title trainings. I wanted to do this specifically because, sorry, I'm pulling my own earpiece out. Okay, so I wanted to do title trainings because, as I just went over, there's different qualifications for different promotions. And only by experience, I feel like I have really come to know and understand each title, what you really can be hyper focused on to help grow your business. Now for everybody, IPAs, income producing activities, I say it all the time, right? Income producing activities are the things that are no they're non-negotiables. They're what everybody should be working on in their business. And I'll tell you, no matter what no matter what those are the first things that you should be working on are income producing activities. And there's only really three things, guys. It's sales, and under the sales umbrella, there's partying, there's front loading, there's follow up, right? And then there's recruiting, which is sponsoring and mentorship. Um, and then there's training new teammates, training your team, and training yourself. Okay. So that's really all you should be working on. Everything else should come after you've done your income producing activities every month And after you have your sales figured out, your sponsoring figured out, and your own training figured out, then you can move on to other things, samples, flyers, like all that stuff is fluff. And I know a lot of people go to those things first and foremost because it makes them feel comfortable and it may be something that you really enjoy, which I do think that it's important that you do things that you enjoy in this business. But if you're here to make money and you're here to grow, then it's not always going to be fun. I mean, this is a job at the end of the day. So you're going to have to do things that make you a little bit uncomfortable, but it's only going to benefit you in the long run. Nobody starts out comfortable and comfy and cozy. It's really, it kind of tests your grit and your inner strength of like, okay, how bad do I want this? Because a lot of these things, I mean, most of it never made me comfortable. Still, sometimes I'm like, oh, like depending on who I'm talking to about the join conversation, you know, I know that I have to go big. I know that I have to just stop with my excuses and stop just stop asking people to host a party that I know are the most likely to say yes. Stop asking people to join that I know are the most likely to say yes. I need to start sharing with everybody. I need to have, no holds barred. Like I just need to go big because when you get to this point in your business, you've asked so many people, you've done all the things. Like, are you just going to stop because it makes you comfortable, or you got to kick it up a notch? You got to level up, and it's hard. It's really hard. But you know what? Those are the things that keep growing your business and taking you to the next level. Like you really have to be able to kick yourself in the pants and move. Um, so there's a few things that I'm going to go over with you guys as leads and stars. Again, IPAs always, but I think that where you are, and if you're looking to grow a business, there's a few things that I can really help you hyper focus on um, at each level. So I feel like leads and stars are kind of in the same place. You can be a lead with literally like 10 people on your team, okay? Or you can be a lead with one person on your team. And same with star. So I want to be able to help you guys. Number one, always with every title is consistency. That is literally what is going to help you grow no matter what. If you are starting and stopping, you're motivated, you're unmotivated, you'll do things, a few times a month and then you do nothing. That is detrimental to your business. It is hurting you way more than it's helping you. The stop and go mentality is one, you're having unrealistic expectations of what to expect and your results. Because you can't just do a few things a few times and expect any results. You really need to be able to stay consistent when you don't see results, even when it's hard, even when you're putting in the effort and doing those IPAs, you have to keep going because I've said it a million times. You may have heard me say it a million times, and I will say it a million times more. This business is so much like weight loss. It is because I know all about weight loss, and it's a struggle of my entire life. I feel like, and this business is the same thing because it's like, say you have a health or fitness goal. Me, it's usually weight loss. I want to lose 25 pounds. Okay, so I start. I'm like, yep, I'm going to start. I'm going to lose this weight, right? You always like want to start on a Monday or, when it's a new month, it's like the same nonsense all the time, right? It's just start, just start. It doesn't matter. Just do it. And then when you do, right, say you work out every single day, you're going to the gym or you're working out in your basement, whatever it is, right? You're eating healthy, you're doing the things that you know you need to do, the IPAs, right? You're doing these things, but why are you not losing 5 pounds every day? Like, why isn't this working out, right? It is working out, but it's consistency that's going to help you get there. It's not what you do once in a while, because if you only eat healthy and go to the gym once in a while, it's not doing anything. It's not doing anything, right? You're getting frustrated. That means you have unrealistic expectations of what's going to happen here. So know that consistency is something that every single one of us have. It takes discipline. It really does. I was a procrastinator pretty much my whole life. Until I realized, I'd have these spurts of being super consistent and then I'd see the results. And then I don't know what would happen. I'd get uncomfortable. Something would deter me or make me feel discouraged and I'd fall off. And it was like this off and on the wagon mentality. And please learn from my learn from my mistakes and know that stay as consistent as you can, you guys. Even if it's 30 minutes a day, stay consistent, because you are going to build something that is beyond what you thought you could. Consistency. Okay. Now that you have a team, whether it's 1 or 10 people, I know it's very exciting and you're eager to help grow your team, because you know you can't promote, you can't earn more money, you can't do any of these things without growing your team and helping them grow, right? And I want you to pause for a second and know that no matter where you are in your business, if you have 7,000 people or if you have one person, your business comes first always. Don't get super excited and get ahead of yourself and pour everything into your team, and then you're not booking parties, you're not sponsoring or recruiting, you're not having the joint conversation. Because listen, you cannot help your team, you cannot train your team, you can't put systems in place for your team to get them started, to help them grow, if you're not doing it yourself, right? And I say this because I've made a poop ton of mistakes, I've said a lot of wrong things, I have just you don't fall back, you fall forward. Every mistake is a lesson, and like, it's either going to get you closer, you're going to try and you're going to hit your target, or you're going to try and you're not, but you're going to learn from it, and effort is effort no matter what. Okay, you're going to figure out what works and what doesn't. So your business, again, the 3 legs of success. It is the 3 parts to this business in chronological order on purpose. Sales, you have to make sure. Now, I know some of you, not you guys in particular, but I know a lot of people, even, directors and above, that really focus on follow up alone for sales. Now, that's great. I mean, get your sales however you can, and what works for you. That's the best thing about this business, is you do what works for you, right? You don't have a boss. But I'll tell you, um, there's only so much you can do with follow up, because follow up means that you are getting reoccurring orders from current customers. Okay. And yeah, you can get sales. I mean, I average probably 5 to 800 PRV every month from follow up alone, but that is not where I put my eggs in a basket. I don't say, okay, well, I'm going to have $500 in sales every month. I don't even include that, because that's a variable, honestly. Um, you want to know where your sales are coming from. In sales, right? We are a party planning business, you guys, at the end of the day. And if you want to grow, one of the key components to growing is meeting new people constantly. Constantly. So if you're relying on follow up alone, that means you're not really meeting new people. You're just kind of maintaining with your current customer base. And, you may cycle through, like, every 3 months, this group of people needs to order or whatnot. I'll tell you, if that is how you're going, it's okay, right? It's okay. You're here to learn, and you guys are actually here. But you're going to exhaust your avenues. You're going to feel like, I hear it all the time, I don't want to be a pain in the butt. I feel like I'm reaching out to the same people. You don't have to, and you shouldn't. So, how are you meeting new people? That also goes along with sales. Okay. Like, my parties that I book are not just for sales, it's for everybody has 7 to 10 people that they know that I don't. So when I book a party with Jane, I'm meeting 7 to 10 new people. And out of those 7 to 10 new people, I'm adding them to my Facebook, so in my Instagram, so they can see who I am as a person. Because people are only gonna buy, host, or join if they know you, like you, and trust you. Okay. So no links and buy this, join, blah, 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 blah. Like, be real. Okay. So I need to meet new people constantly. Now, I mean, we're still in, social distancing, all this stuff. Even when we weren't, okay, my kids are in activities. I have all these things, different things going on, right? I could meet new people out and about. Sure. Absolutely. You should be, right? Share your business, talk about it all the time. But if you're doing it just that way alone, the rate that you're going, I mean, you may be able to, like, add one person to your customer VIP page, or add them to your, social media platforms, like, maybe once every 3 months. Like, you're not meeting people that rapidly to grow your business. Okay. So I 1000% say yes, follow up is part of income producing activities, but Partying is not just about partying. It's about meeting new people. And that is the lifeline of my business. I am not doing coaching calls. I am not answering messages. I'm not doing anything until my calendar is front loaded. Because if you don't know where your sales are coming from every month, that is the first part of the 3 legs of success is sales. Okay. So have a plan. Know that your business comes first. Don't do coaching calls. The first week, if not 2 of every single month is dedicated to me and my business. Okay. Because if I'm not walking the walk and talking the talk, I can't be helping anybody else. Right. If my team doesn't see that I'm sponsoring and recruiting and booking parties, then my advice probably isn't credible. Right. I'm probably just looking at something somewhere or heard somebody else say it. But I'm putting in the effort to work my business because at the end of the day, you can only control your business. No matter how many people you have on your team, okay? People come and go, you guys, all the time. I've had directors completely fall off, leave the business that I thought would never do such a thing. And it's okay because people have their own reasons to join, their own reasons to move. You know, there's only so much we can do to motivate them. People really need to be motivated themselves. And that's really going back to your why and why you joined, right? So you need to motivate yourself, right? You can do incentives, you can post motivational, you can post practical tips to help motivate people. But at the end of the day, you can only control your business. That's it. So if your team isn't showing up, if your team isn't working their business, if your team isn't getting active, well, instead of chasing them around over and over and over again, right? Which if they're going to work, they'll work. And if they don't, the only thing you can do is continue to recruit. That's it. That's it. You can only control your business. And I know it stinks. Trust me. I'm like, but you're so good. You're so good at this. Like, you just need this much more. Don't quit. Don't go anywhere. And that's it. That people have reasons. Life, most people, we are the 5%, you guys. 95% of people join for fun. 95% of people don't work their business like we do. We're the 5%. And so in this business, it's recruit the many to find the few. There's only going to be out of 361 people that are in our group right now, there's probably maybe 20% that actively work their business. That's it. And when your team is smaller, you see it more, so you know what everybody's doing or not doing, and it kind of like burns a hole in your butt, and you're like, but like, why? You said you wanted this, right? Like you say you want the help, you say you want to grow, but you're not. Listen, you cannot. They can only help themselves. You can show up, absolutely, and offer them, absolutely, do that. But at the end of the day, you can only keep recruiting to grow your business. If you're not getting paid at title, if your GWV isn't expanding and growing, then you know what? We can't be putting unrealistic expectations on anybody that they didn't ask for because we are not their boss. Then all you can do is continue to work your business. Okay. So focus on your business first and foremost, no matter what. You got to walk the walk, talk the talk, and lead from the front. Okay. Intentional effort. Like a lot of people I know, the majority of people on this team have full-time jobs, have children, have other things going on. I do this full-time. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm the minority. Okay. Most people aren't, staying at home working Scentsy full-time. So if you are, strict with your time or, hard for time, then you should be very intentional with your time. Okay. So at this point in your business, you're growing, right? You've got at least one person on your team. So if you are being pulled in a million different directions, then I highly suggest you think about your schedule every single day. So if you only have 30 minutes to work your business, you know what you need to do when you sit down on Wednesday night, right? Okay, I've got to do my follow-up. Is my sales, you always go back to the 3 legs of success. Are my sales good for this month? No? Okay, pull out your calendar. All right, what days did I designate that I could book parties this month? Okay, so those holds aren't filled. That's what I need to do for 30 minutes when I sit down. If your sales are good, right? Then okay, who have I offered the opportunity to? How many people have I shared the opportunity with? And I'll tell you something, when you want to book parties and when you want to start recruiting, it's a numbers game. It is a numbers game. Okay. For parties, they say 1 out of every 10 people will say yes to booking a party. When you're recruiting and offering the opportunity, guys, if you're only talking to 3 people, that means like you're going to be waiting for them and holding your breath. And like they say, maybe they're on the fence. Listen, I have had people that I've been talking to for 2 years. Some people I talk to a month later, they're like, yes. Some people 2 years later, still. And they've been wanting to join. They're gonna join when they get out of work. They're gonna join, this weekend when they get paid, and they don't. And it's been 2 years. So if I'm only talking to those people, right, my team is probably depleting in size quicker than it's growing, which is crazy. But if you want to grow and continue and move forward, it's definitely sharing the opportunity with everybody. It's not about convincing anyone. And where you are specifically for leads and stars, your entire focus right now should be growing. Okay. So by now, you pretty much either know how to get sales, whether you're doing it or not, you only know, right? But sales, then recruiting. And where you are now, you should know how to get your sales or, even start over. This is where my sales are going to come from every month. This is what I'm going to work toward. Perfect. Now, hyper focus on growing. Okay? To get paid at title, to move forward, to promote again, really focus, hyper focus on recruiting. Okay. We always make sales our number one focus. Sales are easy, it's instant results. And recruiting is uncomfortable for everybody. Trust me, it really is. I told you, still to this day. Um, you constantly reach out to the people that are most likely to say yes first, or you're like, oh, they're not, I know this person won't yell at me or tell me to beat it. So I'll ask them first, right? Because that's what makes you most comfortable. But eventually you're going to ask all the people that are the most approachable. And then you're left with like, I got to level up a little bit here. And I'll tell you, those are the people that are going to shock you, because those are sometimes the people that join right away are the people that you've been avoiding and putting off asking because you're nervous. Maybe you're like, they already have an awesome job, but I know they have a really good social media presence, or, I know that they seem like they're too good for Scentsy. Yeah, it's crazy. All the things that you think of. But honestly, you guys, you got to just keep asking and keep putting yourself out there. Now, going back to sales, if you are not booking parties, right? Who are you asking? Who are you sharing the join opportunity with? If you're just relying on follow up, well, eventually you're going to ask all of your customers, right? As far as recruiting, I always ask my customers and my hosts first, no matter what. Hosts are good because you can flip them. Okay. You tell them as part of the host exclusive, I can offer this to you as a host only. You can get a kit for free or discounted, or I can flip the orders and give all your sales to you to start your business off on the right foot. And these guests that you've invited to your party will now be your customers. Okay. And then in my customers that I speak to, I say, listen, every time they order, you guys, every time I do my mail outs once a month for my customers, at the beginning of the following month, I'll send out all my mail for my customers. And if they're ordering over and over, I'll put like a little, sly comment, or I'll say something like, listen, you're ordering again. You could totally just be making money off of your own purchases at this point. Even if you want to do it to get your Scentsy at a discount, this is what you would have made off of your purchase this month. And I do it over and over again. Okay. I'm not being pushy, but like, listen, some people will say, I've had Karen Harvey, who is directly under me. She joined a few years ago. She hosted a party for me all the time. And I would ask her over and over and over again. And she'd say, no, I just want to be your customer. I just want to be your customer. And then one day, boom, I didn't give up because, I'm not being annoying and suffocating. You have to kind of know the art of conversation, right? And when to like push and pull. But listen, if I didn't say, Karen, like you're having a party right now, what are you doing? Like you can make this much off of your party, right? And so she was like, yeah, I'll do it. And now she's one of my top leaders on her way to director. So listen, don't give up on people. All right. Don't give up on people, especially your customers. If they're ordering, people don't need to join. And I say this all the time. Listen, you don't need, if you're looking at me and thinking, I couldn't do what she does, which is crap because anybody can, because I'm no different than anybody. But if you're looking at me thinking I couldn't do that, then you don't need to have a business like me. Like I'm telling you this because you could get your Scentsy for free and half off every month with the amount of money that you're spending with me. Cut me out as the middleman and make money off of your own purchases. That's what I'm saying, right? So it can be for any different reason. Just know that. But as a lead and star, your main focus should be recruiting right now. And I'm talking like, okay, you recruit somebody, who else you got? Because it's kind of like, um, what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of like there's like a groups of people that like promote. There's some people that you're just starting the join conversation with, right? And you know that it may take time. Listen, I'm not joking, you guys. I say the same things. I'm like a broken record because most people feel nervous and uncomfortable, doubtful, very reserved. They're interested on some level, but there's something holding them back. And I want to know what's holding them back. I don't want to beat around the bush. I don't want to not hear it. I want you to tell me right away. Why I know you're interested, but what's holding you back? Because people will be like, oh, I really would do it, but time. Okay, time. Sure. Guess what? I worked my business for 30 minutes a day for 3 years. You don't have 30 minutes a day? Do you have 30 minutes every other day? You don't? That just means you don't want it. Like it's if you have you'll put time aside for what you want and what's important to you. Period. Okay? So everybody has 30 minutes a day because you know what? I see you scrolling on Facebook for like 5 hours a day. So you do have time. So it's just kind of like that. People don't know unless you tell them, right? Like they think of this image of what direct sales is, but they don't know. They don't know. Like I don't want to be that annoying person. I don't want to be like posting links. I don't want to be that either. I don't want you to be that either. You don't have to do that. You shouldn't do that. But this is a learned business. Okay? So that's why going back to you guys have to work your businesses first and foremost and continue to do it until you figure out what works and what's the right way to do things so that you can help new teammates and you can help people that are interested in the business. Okay? But you have to walk the walk and talk the talk first before. And your success, talk about your success, share your success with everybody because people will want to join somebody successful, right? And it doesn't have to be, oh, I've earned a trip around the world. No, like, listen, I got paid, and guess what? Sensei's paying for my nails, or Sensei's paying for my electric bill, whatever it is, you guys. People don't know unless you tell them. And I know it's uncomfortable to like put yourself out there sometimes, but you know what? You get used to it, and that's how people feel close to you, right? People feel like you're relatable. And again, it all circles back to know, like, and trust. Okay. If they don't know you, if you're just posting links, $99, join my team, that's going to fall flat. Nobody, that doesn't relate to anybody. Okay. That is super salesy and it's the complete polar opposite of what you want. This entire business is about building relationships. Totally. Relationships with your customers, relationships with your audience and who you're networking with, and relationships with your team. It's all about relationships. Okay. So, we're hyper focusing on recruiting. We should know where our sales are coming from at this point. Hyper focus on recruiting and meeting new people. Okay. Because that means you have more people to share the opportunity with. And it's usually a natural, it evolves naturally into buy. You get them as a customer somehow, right? Either you meet them in a party or, somebody refers someone, whatever it is, buy. And then next time that person goes to order, I'm like, I have a better idea. How about you don't have to pay for that order that you want and you just get a few people together? And we'll have a quick, super convenient 30-minute online scent event instead. And I'll throw in a free mini warmer to make it worth your while. Okay. So how about that? Right. Like I'm giving them an offer they cannot refuse. And it's for May. If you want to take advantage of it, you got to book in May, and this is it. And I'm not word vomiting. I'm not like you need a qualifying party. This blah, blah, blah. Once you start throwing numbers like that out, it becomes too much. People are going to shut down. No. So I keep it short and sweet. Book a party, right? So it's buy, host, and then when your customers start hosting with you, then I'm like, okay, well, every single host gets a host exclusive join conversation with me no matter what, because it's part of the hosting exclusive. And then they probably become a customer of mine regularly. So then I'm sharing the opportunity with them. So buy, host, join. Okay. Um, Goals setting goals. Um, if you are, if you feel like you're unmotivated or uninspired, um, if you feel like, a lot of people that I do coaching calls with, they'll say like, uh, I didn't get, a lot of sales last month, but like it's better than nothing. Or, I didn't get anything last month, but I'll try again this month. And I say, what are your goals? And your goals don't have to be my goals. Like, don't make big, lofty goals if you don't want to, but also don't be afraid to make big, lofty goals because you're going to push for them. You're going to work toward them. So even if you don't hit them, you're going to get somewhere close. I promise. Okay. Be intentional with your time and your effort and your goals. Think about what you want. If you want, and your goals are going to help break down your work, your income producing activities. So if you say, all right, this month I want $2,000 in sales. Okay, great. So on average, like where are your parties averaging each party? So if I want $2,000 in sales every month, that means, if I'm doing about 500 PRV per party, okay, so that means I've got to book 4 parties. Let me try to book 4 parties. All right. So that means each party, you're going to be host coaching and talking to your host and say, hey, listen, we're aiming for $500 in sales. This is what we got to do, blah, 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 blah. Right. So that's going to help you look at your calendar when you sit down. Okay, my income producing activities, I only have 2 parties on my calendar. So that means if I have 30 minutes to sit down and work my business today, that's the first thing that I should be doing is filling those 2 holes. I've got to reach out to people. Okay. And Frankie list, some of you may have it, some of you may not. When I started, we used to call it a list of 100, which seems very overwhelming because I'm like 100 people, like, ugh. But when you think of it, excuse me, as a Frankie list, an acronym, right? It's there to help you think of people that you know. It's not about your inner circle. Your inner circle is only to launch your business. It's your launch party, right? But to move forward and meet new people, you got to keep growing outward. So that Frankie list, where I am now, you guys, I don't really have to reach out to my Frankie list that much because it's been 5 years, right? And I've established a really good customer base. And I try to book parties while I'm doing parties with the new people that I'm meeting. Like I'll do some kind of incentive, in that party to, book a party just like Jane just did and get your own 3.5 price rewards, blah, 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 right? And if you book through Jane's party, I'll offer you a free, 6-pack of wax with the perpetual party reward when they close their party. So I'm paying 50%. You have to figure out what is financially sound for you at the moment, but every little offer is something big, trust me. So I don't have to reach out like that as much anymore. Honestly, just think of it as you're paying your dues. Like, I'm sorry, it's just part of the business and building from the ground up. I promise you will not have to do it forever. I promise. But now is the hardest part, building your business from the ground up. If you do this and stay consistent, you will build a foundation. You will. And you're in the works of building a foundation right now, all of you. All of you right now with me, all of you watching this, the replay, you're building your foundation. And so you should be pouring the cement with your sales, right? And parties and meeting new people. And then right now you need to start building those beams, and that is recruiting. Okay. So right now, recruiting. Always look at the 3 legs of success. Always aim to get paid at title every month, and always shift. Like if your sales are still kind of wishy-washy right now, you guys, just work that out. Okay. Work that out and kind of get that going solid. All right. And then really switch your focus once your sales are solid and you know what to do every month, how to get those sales and how to front load your calendar. Because if you're doing that, then you're going to help your teams front load their calendars, and then you're going to see your GWV increase. Okay. But if you're just talking about front loading, follow up and, reaching out to customers, your team is going to do what you do. Okay. So if you can give them tips and tricks and show them what you're doing and tell them what you're doing, they're going to try that, because you know what? If you're doing that consistently, you are going to see results, period. And they're going to be like, okay, well, what she's doing is working. I'm going to do that too. So then when you do coaching calls with these people, you can tell them, okay, this is work on the 3 legs of success. Your sales come first. Okay. But again, where you are right now, iron out your sales. We should be shifting focus, sales always, shifting your focus onto recruiting. Build. It's time to build, guys. Build, build, build. Okay. And then last is systems. When you really get up and then your superstar director titles, it's really about duplication and building and creating leaders under you at that point. So to set you up for that, have systems in place. Think about systems. And always, you guys, you know that I'm here for coaching calls if you're on my team, but workstation, team pages, YouTube, if you don't have systems in place, like front loading systems, party systems, recruiting systems, follow up systems, something like onboarding systems are super important for you guys, for everybody, really. But I have a system in place. It's the same thing that I do every single time somebody joins. It's the same exact thing. Okay. So it's foolproof. I've had to change it a million times because it didn't always work. But I committed to figuring it out until it did. And now I have a system that works very well for me. And I do the same thing every single time somebody joins. And I'm getting these people to certified right away, right away. So systems are so big because whatever you do with your new consultants is what they're going to do with their teams. So if you're all over the place and you're doing something different every single time, think about what's important. I only tell them what they need to know right then and there. It's a step-by-step training. Okay. In my step-by-step training, it's all listed in the video that I have, Just Join Now What. That's on my YouTube channel. If you're not on my personal team page anymore, since we split, if you're not on my team page, it's on my YouTube, Just Joined Now What. That is a step-by-step. What I go over in that video is what I go over with those new consultants. I don't go over anything more, because when people are confused or overwhelmed, they do nothing. Okay. So systems it's going to be easier for you and your life. Trust me. You don't want to have to like reinvent the wheel every single time you're doing follow-up or, booking parties, host coaching. No, if you have a system, it makes your life so easy. Systems are simplifying, and trust me, you can simplify your business till it's down to nothing. And I've done that over the past 2 years, and my business has grown big time, and it's become so much less stressful. Trust me, it's going to help you. I promise. You don't have to do all the things. If you see Sarah and she's doing something and Sarah's super, super, super successful, but she's, printing all the labels and doing all the things. Guys, I'm not a labels person. I am not a flyers person. I don't use flyers. I don't think I have ever used a flyer. I don't do these things. I don't make big bougie samples. I do samples once a month. I do mail outs once a month. And I was driving myself crazy trying to keep up with the Joneses, because I saw friends that were successful and this is how they did it. So I thought, if they do this, then I have to do this. And no, you have to work with your strengths, what works for you, and simplify your business. That's by doing income producing activities only. Okay. Only. And trust me, you're not going to have time for fluff, because you only have 3 legs of success. but there's, subcategories in each of those. And then once you start building a team, like, you know, you're not going to have time for fluff. And it doesn't do anything for you anyways, but fill your time. So that is my tips for you guys. Do you guys feel like this was helpful? Do you have any questions? If so, please unmute yourself. I'm happy to answer any direct questions. If you don't, that's good too. But I'm happy to answer them. Let me check the chat because I didn't.
I have a question, a little off topic from this.
Okay.
But I did a fundraiser recently, and I'm wondering when, like, so she closed it out and everything. It was a little like private fundraiser. Sorry, my cat keeps moving my computer.
That's okay.
A private fundraiser, like a little one.
Mhm.
And so how do I, like, what can I give them as, like, this is what we're donating to you? Like, is there a letter or something that I should do up, or?
So have you already started it?
What, the fundraiser?
Mhm.
Yeah.
What did you guys like determine between you and the person?
Well, there's I guess there's a farm in her community that has given a lot to them, so she wanted to give back. So basically she created a link and asked, friends and family and a couple different groups in her community.
Okay.
And
But
so I'm
excuse me,
giving
you and
them,
her didn't like say like, "Oh, I'm going to give you, 50% of my commission."
yeah, we did 25%.
Okay, so 25%. So, I mean, you can fundraising is completely independent. So you're just is this your first fundraiser?
Yes.
Okay. So pretty much when you get paid, you're going to take, 25% of that party,
Hmm.
and Venmo her or however she wants it. If there's
Okay.
a link, you know what I mean? Like it's going to come directly out of your pay.
Right.
And you can put a letter together. Definitely. It just seems more like professional or put
Right.
together. So you can do that. By all means, if that's something that she's interested in. Um, each fundraiser is completely different and separate based on, what the person wants and um, what fundraiser organization you're donating to. So yeah, you definitely can. And always with fundraisers, just make sure that and you said you did, but for everybody else listening, that you determine ahead of time what you're going to be donating out of your own commission. Like Sensi doesn't cut a check or anything like that.
Right.
It's all independent.
Yeah.
So you get to choose what you want to do for a fundraiser. Is it a cent circle fundraiser? Is it a full catalog fundraiser? Anything.
Hmm.
Um, you get to determine. You get to determine what you want to give out of that as well, and then it will come from you to the organization.
Okay. So in the letter for it, should I just say, like, thank you for everything you've done for us. Like, we wanted to give back. And then do I mention that, like, it's from me, or do I mention from the girl who did it? I mean,
Um, I would do both.
okay.
I would do both. And say, thank you for supporting whatever, the name is.
Mhm.
And, Sally and I have decided, to come together. I'll be donating a portion of my commission to this. And, this is what we made, or this is what we'll be donating.
Okay.
And Sally has, found it in her heart to want to give back to this,
Okay.
local farm or whatnot. So yeah, something like that.
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
Mhm. My coffee's cold. Any other questions? Okay, sorry. If you have a question, just say it. I'm just going to look through this really quick. I'm super good to figure out if you do. I can help anyone if they need it. How to motivate my team? They want to go. Motivate my team. Yeah, it's a popular question as a leader. It's the $1,000,000 question. How do I motivate my team? You don't. I mean, you can, you should, you should try, but it's really just talking to them, knowing what they want from this business, and really not like using it against them, but like knowing what they want out of this business and kind of saying, hey, remember why you joined? Remember what you wanted this for? Like, where are you struggling? You have so much potential. What's going on this month? Where can I help you? And, it's good if any of you have your own team pages, it's good to put out like motivational things, like motivational quotes or words of encouragement. but also know that your words will fall flat and fall short if you don't also share practical information and tips that people can implement. Because if you're just doing motivational, like that doesn't seem credible, right? So it has to be a good balance of practical and things that they can implement in their business to help them. And then they see the results. And then when you follow it up, at another time with some encouragement or motivation, it kind of breathes all into one, right? It goes hand in hand. But honestly, knowing what they want, one-on-one outreach with your team is huge. Like working with your team one-on-one, you're always going to want to work where with whoever is driving your business. So you want to focus on your front line, your active front line every month. Okay. If you have downline and your teams are sponsoring, that's great. But you also want your leaders to be their own leaders. And I have leaders that aren't interested in being leaders. So I have, helped some of their downline. But for the most part, you want to focus on your front line, your TWV, right? I mean, it kind of doesn't split up TWV, GWV till you're a director, but you really want to keep your eye on your front line and getting them active and building leaders from your front line. Okay. Because again, it's all a system, and your leaders should be building leaders out of their teams, right? It's all the same thing. Whatever you do is what they're going to do. So motivation is hard. It really is. You can try, you can do different things, but it really has to come from them. Motivation it's self-motivation, really. Um, oh God, politics. Yeah, just you try. This is a business of all women, of all walks of life. So it's really, I'll tell you, Sensi has grown me as a person, because there has been some things that have come up and I'm just like, oh Lord. And I just have to let it roll, because I'm not going to let anybody steer me off my goals. I'm not. This is from my family. So like people, uh, some people need to grow in this business professionally, personally. I will not get involved with anything. I won't. So you just keep doing you. Like if people are gonna, and you're gonna see it, it's not gonna be the last time either. I promise. Sorry, but it won't. Um, that's a good idea if anyone wants to try. It's an idea. Okay, PTO. That's great. Okay, so booking parties, it's really just keep going, 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 going. Keep asking, keep offering an incentive, a sense of urgency. This month only, this is what you're offering, keeping the message short and simple. And the more people you meet through parties, which I know is what you're saying you're having trouble with, the more people you'll have to offer, the hosting opportunity too. So even if you can get a few people to just start you off, like I had to say to my best friends, like, all right, will you just have a party for me and just invite a few people that I don't know? And I had to ask them. But guys, my launch party, FYI, 3 people came. My sister, my best friend, and her mother. And I got $129 for my launch party. And I was like, what the heck is going on? Um, and I literally felt bad for myself for like a day. And then my sponsor was not involved at all. I had to train myself, and I was like, all right, what do I got to do? What do I got to do? And I got certified like a week and a half later. So don't let anything, you can get discouraged. Absolutely. I still do. This is life. This is business, right? It's not going to go perfectly. But if you don't give up, you're going to win. That's just what it comes down to. Think of weight loss every time, you guys. That's what keeps me on my A game. I'm like, all right, if you want this to work, it goes hand in hand with me. So know that whatever you want from this, look at me and think she is no different than I am. And if she can do it, I can do it. It's taken me 5 years to get here, but the money that I make, the things that I have brought into my life, I would have never anticipated this ever. And you guys are on that path right now. Focus on building. Recruiting really is your number one income producing activity. I mean, you can't do much without sales, but really, if you're looking to grow, you got to turn your focus into recruiting. It has to be. Okay, so get creative, set your intentions, but get your sales ready first, because if they're not right now, that's okay. That's why you're here, to learn. Your sales at this point need to be tip top shape. You should know where your sales are coming from, booking parties, get that down first. And then once you do, okay, hyper focus on sales. I mean, hyper focus on recruiting every month, every month. Okay, so you're spending not as much time on sales because you know what you need to do. And then you can quickly move right over to recruiting. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. And then if you need help with any of those things, guys, there's tools and resources everywhere on team pages, workstation, trainings. Show up. And that's the other thing. If you aren't showing up to meetings and trainings and all these things, then when you start doing this, right, for your teams, well, you never showed up to those things. So they're not going to either. Trust me. Okay. Like, you have to show up to things, and your team needs to see you at these things and see what you're doing. Because if you're not showing up, they're not going to show up. That's just how it is. It's how it is. So thank you guys for being on this call. If there's anything after you have questions with, you can always reach out to me. Always, always, always. I will be posting the recordings on everybody's team pages. So again, if you have anybody that you feel like would benefit from this, just tag them in it. And I love you guys so much, and you're doing so good. So keep going. Okay. All right, you guys. Happy Tuesday. Eat your tacos. Bye.